In July 2023, we went to attend the Montreal Circus Festival in the heart of Montreal, Quebec. It was our third time visiting the festival and felt it was more vibrant than ever. Although Cirque du Soleil is not officially part of the festival, and because the company is headquartered in Montreal, there's often a show running at the same time as the festival. So this year, we had the opportunity to check out Echo, the 20th big top show created by Cirque du Soleil. Echo is a story of connection, intention, and the symbiotic unions between humans and the animal kingdom, fueled by the power of change, the hope of the youth, and the value of empathy. Because Echo is performed under the big top in Old Montreal, it feels particularly nostalgic for circus lovers and longtime Cirque du Soleil fans. Like ourselves. Echo follows an inquisitive young woman named Future as she wanders into the fantasy world that explores our sacred bond with animals and nature. When Future and her best friend, the dog, encounter a mysterious cube, they quickly learn how their actions have the power to shape this world. And if we come together, we will rebuild our planet to create the world that we all want to live in. This time around, we had the opportunity to meet directly with the PR manager for Echo. Her name is Justine Leblanc. There's nothing quite like a backstage experience at Cirque du Soleil. Speaking of the animal kingdom, many of the circus performers have to wear masks when they perform on stage. This is even harder than it sounds. But for this part of the walkthrough, Justine showed us individual masks, all of which are original designs by Cirque du Soleil.
So we have over 20 animal heads in the show, and just like the color paper people, so you'll see those are the two main costumes apart from the main characters. You'll see animals and paper colored people, and there's no two animals who are the same, and there's no two colors that are the same as well. It's meant to represent like the individuality of the animal and the human world. Each animal has one artist. So Mirek is the koala, which is my favorite one. Oh, this one is also incredibly impressive. So that's the elephant. The elephant head and all the other heads that you see are handmade in Montreal. You can grab the jaguar. Oh my goodness. There you go. Wow.
I mean, this is such an essential part of Cirque du Soleil's art, and creating all these things, like original creations to me, it's just mind-blowing.
Totally. One of the challenges that our costume designer, Nicolas Vaudelaire, had to contend with is acrobats often don't wear masks because it obstructs your vision, obviously, and so you can't really perform in the same way. So he had to create like an animal head that was still recognizable, but still let enough through the signs, it's like felt material, but it's also like a lot of mesh, like here, all over here.
So it's breathier.
Yeah, and it's especially for the vision. But as Evian, the frog head, told me yesterday, you still can't really see anything because once the light hits onto the mesh, it gets blinding. It kind of becomes opaque, so you have to kind of look for your vision.
You have to perform and trying to see everything at the same time.
Exactly. So not an easy feat.
When you catch yourself either making mistakes with someone else, something seems off on stage, what do you do to pick yourself back up again? And
I think that's also part of the process of becoming an artist as well, is being able to deal with these kind of situations, being able to think fast about a solution, or also stop if you need so, because that could be very dangerous if you're just trying to keep going.
Keep fixing,
you have to be able to manage that situation that way, like knowing, oh no, it's safe for me to keep going or to try this one, or no, I have to stop, I have to step back and then come back to the act.
Yeah.
And from my experience, I think it's super cool, and when the audience also realize that, they see that we also make mistakes. And then when we come back and do it again and perform well, they go crazy. So I think that's something super nice to feel as well.
And next, we move on to the wardrobe section of the show backstage. Wardrobe is one of my favorite topics related to Cirque du Soleil.
The heads that you see up there are the musicians' heads. So the acrobats are in white and in colored paper people, and the musicians are dressed all in black, and they have these like black animal heads. The aesthetic of the show is really like contemporary and different than what we've seen in other Cirque du Soleil productions.
Yeah.
Which is a lot more like Baroque, like detail oriented. Here we're going for a very like contemporary pared down aesthetic. And that's represented like in the costumes. Like there is a base to all costume. So as you see, like it's like a similar structure for like all the costumes, right? Like a mandarin color jacket and then this crinkled fabric. The way we get the fabric crinkled is, so as you might know, Cirque du Soleil shows, we buy all fabric white and we dye it in-house.
Wow, I didn't
Just
know that.
because, yeah, well, there you go, first fun fact. Because you need to be able to like reproduce the fabric and recreate the costumes for shows that have been on the road for like 30 years. So if you're dependent on a fabric supplier, you know, down the road might not be so easy if the show keeps like touring and touring. And so we make sure to like dye our own fabric, print on it ourselves. So the way it's crinkled, actually, it's like perma crinkled. It comes like as a like normal fabric. It doesn't come crinkled like this.
Let me do a few moments. I love it.
They will basically put it in vacuum sealed bag for like 2 or more weeks, depending on like the need of the fabric. And they will seal it super, super, super tight so it gets really, really crinkled. And then when they take them out, they're perma crinkled like this. You can wash them and they just stay like that.
Wow.
So we haven't had to re-crinkle them yet to be seen if the show is on the road for 50 years, what we do. But so far, so good.
So wow.
Another big challenge of costumes in this show is the prevalence of whites. So again, like that's part of like the contemporary aesthetic of like this specific show. All pants are white pretty much. The jackets are color, and for the paper animals, like the top is white and the animal head is white. And obviously the makeup, you know, is very prone to getting in places where my makeup wouldn't usually get, just because you twist, you bend, all that stuff. And so there's a lot of spot treating, washing, and keeping the costumes white is a real challenge. So we've really reduced the amount of foundation that is worn in the show.
I do 2 completely different stuff. So I do the first row, I do like a completely different apparatus with a different lineup of the show. And the other one is like a character, so it's like a completely different one, completely different makeup and roles and everything.
Then today you only play one or both?
Yes, just one.
Oh, just
If
one.
I play one, I cannot play both of them because they are at the stage at the same time.
Yeah.
So I cannot be like 2 people at the same time.
You can split yourself
Yeah,
into,
yeah.
I mean, you guys are very magical, like miracle
Yes.
to us. And you have to learn 2 different types of makeups, as we
Yes.
learned from Justine. It
Yes,
takes
yes.
a lot of practice.
Yeah, it does. Like at the beginning, we take a long time to be able to reproduce the makeup. Like at some point, you can get like 2 hours at the beginning.
Jeez, yeah.
But now I'm like getting to 30 minutes, so it's get a little bit more used to everything. So it's quite easy and you know, more used to do the makeups.
At Cirque du Soleil, costumes are custom made, and the majority are produced at the costume workshop at the international headquarters, IHQ. The workshop, the only one of its kind in North America, employs specialists in shoemaking, textile design, lace making, wig making, pattern making, costume making, and millinery, which I had to look it up. It means women's hats. Speaking of shoemaking, Justine showed us how shoes are made and stored for the show Echo.
So there's 2 types of shoes. These shoes that you have right here, they're Asics gym shoes.
Whoa.
So they're a classic, you know, what they use, they're very bendy. And we cover them like with our own materials. So like this part, the shoe cover is made in-house. And then for the other shoes, we make them by hand. So let's say these are made by hand at like either here or at Cirque du Soleil HQ. They're recobbled, everything. So the job of wardrobe is super important because we need to be able to like take everything that Montreal has given us and keep it in pristine condition, reproduce it, edit it, fix it, do whatever needs to be done on the road. And they're also in charge of makeup while we're on the road. So here, when we're in creation, it was easier for acrobats to like kind of like get these makeup lessons. They'd go to HQ, minimum of 3 lessons. You have first one, they do your face. Second one, they do half your face, you do half your face. Third one, you do your face under supervision. Some people who have less experience in makeup and maybe natural skills have to take a few more lessons, but minimum of 3. And so here it's wardrobe that does that. So if an acrobat joins us on the road, then wardrobe will be teaching them to do their makeup.
You guys are just miles away from the headquarters of Cirque du Soleil, and this is really the only location, right?
That's it.
In Montreal. How does that transform the experience for you? You've been on the road for so long now, you're home base. What is that like?
Well, this is kind of a different place to be because you feel like you're in the mindset and the center of all the attention, because everyone that works at IHQ is always easily here, so you never know who's in the house watching. So, you know, there's some pretty big shoes to fill. You know, every Cirque show that's ever been on tour has started right here in this spot. So we're here trying to cover that as well.
Well, I didn't know that. I just learned something. Every show starts here.
Every big top creation starts right here at home.
So this is a shoe stretcher, which I recently learned of it here. So one of the reasons we make shoes by hand is so they fit the acrobat's foot perfectly. And if we give them like the ASIC shoes, like we will stretch them out beforehand. You just spray them in water, put them on here, twist so it opens.
Wow.
And then you stretch out the shoe so it's like ready for use from the get-go, which is really cool. Cobbler machine. This is a painting station. So you'll see here, this is an ongoing project of Rita's. So you see here, like the shoe, because it bends and crinkles, the paint fades. So we have to repaint them. So it's literally like just painting project. Like you grab brushes from here, there's white paint, and you go right on, paint them, and then you recobble them. So it's a cool job.
Wow.
Yeah.
The most unexpected part of the backstage walkthrough is how we practice to enter the stage as a real circus artist. Justine showed us how to enter the stage on a rolling platform. The space wasn't very big and it was hard to see. It felt mysterious, even for 10 seconds to perform this act.
Welcome to backstage. So it's a little like harder to do in a dress, but you can do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically,
Oh my God.
you lie down on your stomach.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
You go like this and then just paddle under. Okay.
Yeah,
So I'll
I'm good
do
at
it,
this.
And then,
I
woo!
Oh my goodness.
Once you're under there,
Yeah.
turn around.
Please
Come
capture
back.
her. And then-
It takes a lot of tricep strength to climb this little hill,
Yeah.
but you can do it.
Yeah.
All right, you want to try?
Yeah, sure.
Let's go. So on your stomach on the board.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
And swim.
swim. Whoa. This is so cool.
Yeah, and turn around, come back. And let me know if you need help coming up. Yeah, it is a little hard, isn't it?
Yeah. So I was a skateboarder for a long time, so.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, Adam
Pretty
second.
easy.
Yeah.
There's little blue lights down there to indicate the way, so you can just carve around and you go all the way to the front of the stage. When you're down there doing props, you can stay there up to 2 acts because you have to hand something, take something back,
Wow.
wait till the end of the act, do it again. So it's not worth coming back and forth. So you just stay down there. You got to wear earplugs though, because the subwoofers are down there
Yeah.
and the sounds are like tuh, tuh. So it's an experience. So if you get to a level that's like too high in CO2, you shouldn't go under the stage because obviously it's less oxygen. It's more like it's a smaller closed off space. So when it goes unsafe, no rolling on the boards. It is a strictly forbidden zone.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So you'll see the show, but you get a demonstration beforehand. There's tower boxes in the show. So that's what the clown's number is. And it is much more acrobatic than you would think. Each of these boxes is actually 1 kilogram.
Wow.
And they build towers up to 22 boxes. And they can go on in their personal lives or like their lives before the show. They've gone up to 36. But here we have the grid, that like the acrobatic grid that blocks the height. So the max is 22, but it's still 22 kilograms, which is really heavy. And just for proof, no magnets, no nothing. It's just cardboard boxes.
Wow.
You'll see why that's important when you see the show.
You know, I was gonna say, since as head coach for Cirque du Soleil, a lot of people don't realize that there are various disciplines on stage. So do you have to be sort of a jack of all trades in order to coach?
You have to know a little bit more than what you're used to.
Yeah.
So, you know, as well as knowing different apparatuses, different skill levels, different gymnastics background, and just different techniques overall, it's still the mindset as well for, you know, different human relations and how to communicate among each other.
Let me take you guys into the big top.
The Big Top is my favorite place to see the show, or any show. It feels so intimate, unlike any other experience from a big stadium. You will feel like the performers are performing just for you. Following Justine to see the front stage, she made us guess how many people the Big Top can host for a show. Can you guess? Let me give you some time. 3, 2, 1.
2,600.
Wow.
So it's way bigger than it looks. Like walking into
Wow.
this space feels really intimate. And I think that's one of the advantages of a big top show is kind of like being together under the canvas is a super cool experience. And you feel, you feel like a much more intimate experience than in an arena. But it also packs a punch. Like there's more people that fit in here than you would think. So.
The history of Echo, as explained by Justine, had to live through a few iterations because of the pandemic. Given all the ups and downs Cirque du Soleil had to live through during COVID-19, the show Echo had to evolve as well.
Echo is Cirque du Soleil's 20th Big Top show. Its creation originally started in 2019 and it was supposed to premiere in 2020, but due to pandemic-related reasons, we had to postpone it. And when the show was put on halt, they went back into creation from it. The original show was called Under the Same Sky, and we had Devlin attached as the director of the show. You might know her from Dr. Dre's Super Bowl, and she did the scenography for the latest Beyonce tour. Great scenographer. She had other projects after the starting in 2020. So she gave us this cube and other props that we use in the original idea. And then our director now is Mukhtar Omar Sharif Mukhtar. He was an acrobat on Love for 8 years before becoming an artistic director and climbing up the ranks. And this is his first Big Top show. And then the third member at the helm of the creative team is Chantal Tremblay. She's a Cirque veteran. She's been with us for over 20 years, and she is the creative director of the show. So the mix of the three influences created something really stunning, really unique, and really different than what you've seen from Cirque du Soleil before. In terms of acrobatics, we're talking about the same acrobatic level that you come to expect from a Cirque show. But in terms of its visuals and its kind of aesthetic, it's complete departure. So usually there's a lot of props. In this show, there's a few props, but there's one big prop, and it's the cube. The cube is not even really a prop. Mukhtar would say it is a character in the show. Things in the cube happen inside the cube, on the cube, around the cube. It is really well used, and it is completely built down throughout the show and then built back up by the end. So you'll see it when you see the show, but it is really, really something to see. And there is so much technical effort behind it. We are the only Cirque du Soleil show that does a technician's bow, where technicians take the bow as well as artists, because it's such a really intense technical show to run.
When I finally got to see the show, I have to tell you that the Cube experience was unlike any other Cirque du Soleil shows or any circus shows I had ever seen. It works, it's magical, it's bold, it gives you the never before seen acrobatics.
Where do you think, in your opinion, is the best seats for a big top like this? Where would you like to sit?
Okay, I'll give 3 answers. 1, I like to stand when I see the show, on the stairs over there. Because you see a little bit of the backstage action too. You see acrobats run in, you see technicians a little, and also it's close to the band, which is a specificity of Echo, is that the band is on stage. They're usually slightly off stage or in the pit. And Echo is the title partly refers to the importance of the music in the show. We have the largest vocalist band of any Cirque du Soleil show with 6 live vocalists and a 7-member band. So the music sounds quite different. It's really spectacular. So I love to stand there, watch the band, watch people coming on stage, watch what's happening on stage. To me, it's a multi-level experience. Otherwise, the very first row there is super cool because there's a number called the vertical ballet where acrobats fly over you. Oh. So you feel really immersed when you're there. It's very wow. Yeah. And third is up there in these seats because you really get the bird's eye view of the show. You get the whole experience. You see it really well. Yeah. So sometimes when I'm watching the show, I'll walk from place to place. I'll watch a bit from there and then I'll walk over here and I'll watch a bit from there and so on and so forth.
we love the big top because literally I think every seat, people don't realize that every seat you're pretty intimate with a stage.
Yeah.
As opposed to, you know, a big gym or like, you know, college arena where you're really far, like they're there,
Yeah.
you're back here.
Yeah.
So I feel like every seat here is really good.
I mean, I might be like, obviously this is my job, so I do love the circus, but like there's something really magical about like coming into the big top as well. Like it's really, you put kind of like your day-to-day aside and really like have a moment to enjoy like just these incredible like acrobatic feats, the music, just like it's like a suspension of disbelief for a second. So to me, like the big top is a really special space.
What are some of the things that you have picked up as part of this job, I guess?
Oh my. Like I say, we have people from all around the world. So certain techniques sometimes don't work with other techniques. So trying to figure out ways to get those to clash together or at least work in combinations on stage. It's always a fun challenge. As the mind of different people from different cultures, they drive this way, you drive this way. At some point, you're going to collide. So being able to adapt makes the world completely better.
Well, this is like an inside-out experience.
So yeah, there you go. Now we're in front of the big top. I think like approaching the big top like is one of the like coolest experiences about coming to a Cirque du Soleil show because it's just so like, you know where you are. There's 3 classic colors to Cirque du Soleil: white and gray, blue and white, which we have here, and yellow and blue. They're all pale colors so that they take in less heat to like save on energy, to like, you know, be a little kinder to the environment as well. So
very wise.
After the show, I checked out the merch area of Echo. What a difference it makes to be near the headquarters. Unlike the limited selections you often see for a traveling show, there was so much more to choose from. I picked out the Here, Now, Us t-shirt and wore it proudly till this day, and a white water bottle as well.
What I also like people to know, which is every show is actually different. This is not the same thing as watching a DVD or a Netflix special.
No.
I feel like it's different for you personally as well.
Yeah, also
right?
like that's also one of the beauties of the entertainment, live entertainment, because every show is different. Every show we go for different, let's say, mistakes, and we go for different, trying to get in a different way to the audience. Or this doesn't work. Let's try this way or that way.
Yeah.
So it's very different. So I think it's super nice to be able also to perform that way. You know, not just one video. It's just one thing. Every day is a different show.
Echo feels so special in every way. The setup, the stage, the message behind the show, that's echoing in our minds the entire time. If you want to learn more about the climate change, I recommend a few more resources. The CarbonAlmanac.org, started by Seth Godin. The Carbon Almanac is full of ideas, data, perspectives, and resources to help us understand the realities of climate change and what we can do to fight it. Next is Mass.Green, a new project I started to talk about incentives and ideas to help residents go green in Massachusetts, and hopefully more states in the US and the rest of the world will join in as well. Hope you enjoy this kind of video and mini documentary from Feisworld. Let us know what you like about it and what else you would like to learn from our experience. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm gonna see you next time.